Hey Facebook friends, how you guys doing? All right, off the title, the psyche of the man, how to please or sex a man. I really don't want you to get all crazy about this title. I got some good reviews from yesterday's video where we talked a little bit about the porno side of it and how it affects how it affects relationships. So this is not a 100% secular talk because you can actually find this in the Bible. It's First Corinthians 7:32 and 34, where Paul talks about how the wife is supposed to please the husband, or more specifically, how the wife is supposed to be of the world to please her husband, and likewise, how the husband is supposed to be of the world to please their husband. So it is biblical at the same time. What is not being taught properly is the psyche or the psychology, if you will, of the lesson of pleasing the man. So I wanted to lump it together and present it to you guys. So this is for singles. If you're single, this will really enhance your knowledge of how in the dating to marriage position. And if you're married, ladies, this will help you to a degree stop the cheatings or prevent cheatings and have a better marriage between you two. All right, so if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know as we go along. I may not read everything, but I would definitely try to get to you. So like I said, for all you church-going ladies out there, this is First Corinthians 7, starting in verse 32. Women or wives, be of the world, how to please your husband. And for you who do not go to church for whatever reason, this is going to apply to you. Singles in your dating to marriage, and marriage to stop or prevent your husband for cheating. All right, so this is what I got today. So let's get on the board and let's define a couple of things. Okay. Hey Vicky, what's going on? All right, so let me reverse this. All right, first thing, we're going to be talking in the context of the kind of man. Now, this is just the basics. This is not, I don't think this is where I haven't even looked. I just wrote off the top of my head. So you have a kind of guy who's power. In context, he has money or titles. Now, I forgot how to spell that, whatever. Then you have the alpha guy, which is a personality type. Then you have a man's man. He do his own thing. And then you have a basic man, which is a basic good guy. And then you have a mama's boy. We don't want to talk about those guys. Now, on the other hand, let's define the type of woman. So we're going to talk about, equality driven, meaning a strong woman, a servant woman, ghetto, outgoing. Now, again, ghetto is not that you're poor. Ghetto is just simple that you're outgoing, spoiled, and a pleasing type woman. All right, so let's just outline those two and define those real fast. Okay, here we go. When it comes to your guy, ladies, and let's talk single first, but when it comes to your guys, including marriage, you really need to understand the type of guy that you have. If he's a powerful man, meaning he's all in his title, he knows he has money, the outliner of pleasing him is totally different than a man. If you have a man, a husband or boyfriend, which is a basic good guy, the two processes is different. The alpha personality and the man's personality, and the mama's boy. Sorry if you got one. Anyway, so in that process, then you got the woman. All right, so we don't want to get into the woman just right now. So the first thing I want you to realize, what kind of man do you have? Here is the number one thing you need to understand, ladies, in understanding the kind of man you got, or you have, or you're trying to get. to please a man, this has nothing to do with you. Contrary to belief, it has nothing to do with you. If you're the equality type driven woman and you're very strong nature, I promise when it comes to pleasing a man, it's not about you. A servant type, a quiet type woman, you can pretty much master what I'm about to give you. Outgoing, what we call the ghetto woman, we got some things to work on. Spoiled, you probably already know what I'm about to talk about. And the pleasing type woman, you also probably know what I'm talking about. Hey, what's going on, guys and ladies? All right, so number one thing you need to understand when it comes to pleasing your man or husband or whatever, it's not about you. Let me give you a scenario. If your guy is in porno, and I'm not saying he is, I'm just using it as an example. If your guy is in porno, okay, if the video is a 30-minute long video, and if he ejaculates within 10 minutes, what do you think he's going to do? Exactly. He's going to shut that video down, and then he's just going to clean up and move on. Okay, think about it in this way, ladies. For all of you thinking he's going to hug on you after you guys have sex, for all you guys who think he's supposed to talk to you after he's sex, he is not trained to do that after sex. You can probably do that prior to the sex aspect, but not after. Now, let me define it a little bit more. Some guys will try to make a strong effort in trying to please their women. Now, okay, he's trying to please you by nature, his personality by nature. He wants to please you by talking to you, cuddling you, and all of those things. But let me tell you, ladies, his true nature is watch a 30-minute video, ejaculate 10 minutes, he's shutting the video down, he's cleaning up, and he's moving on. Okay, that's exactly what he does with a woman. Now, when it comes to a man who's powerful, has money and power, he's thinking the same thing. But here's the problem. If you don't get with the program, guess what he's going to do? Have another woman. If he's an alpha kind of guy, depending on his ethics and morals, guess what he's going to do? A man's man, guess what he's going to do? A basic good guy, he'll just suck it up and be unhappy, and eventually he'll leave too, and so on and so forth. Okay, how do we get them to understand? First thing I need you to understand this is nothing about what you want out of the relationship. This is all about how to please him. Now, in context, if you can please him, you can pretty much get anything you want out of him. So let's go back to the board and let's do an outliner of what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So the psyche of the man, blah, blah. Singles, okay. Married, fine. A man, let's talk, just look at the man side right here. The understanding for a man is simple. When it comes to sex, it's only pleasure. It's only pleasure. And he's going to get it out of porno. He's going to get it out of other means, such as work. Now, if he's making money, like the powerful guy over here, if he's making money, he's going to have pleasure out of work. Friends, all right? Friends, partner, okay? Other persons cheating on you. And then sometimes guys will go work out. Now, let's talk about this real fast, ladies. Now, when it comes to sex, when it comes to pleasing, and in the context of pleasing, I'm talking about sex. And when it comes to pleasing, majority of the guys will do porno. Why? Because porno is safe. We already know all of that point of view. Now, in context, why does he do porno? He needs to release himself, okay? It's just biological. It's a hormone that builds up, and stresses come in, and he knows through history of his history that when stresses build up, he needs to release himself. So it is not a negative in context, but at the same time, it is been put as a negative because at the end of the day, ladies, you're not understanding the psyche of the man. When he's looking at porno, it doesn't matter if it's porno or another woman or his wife. He needs a release. That's all it is. Okay. When he's thinking about a release, sex, ejaculation, when he's thinking about that, it is not nothing else. It is simple. It is just pleasure only. It is not for him, and it doesn't matter if, let me define this, ladies. It doesn't matter if he's 13 or 30. When it comes to the area of sex, it doesn't matter. He is not going to look at you in the context of relationship. He would never look and use sex in the context of relationship. He's only looking at sex in the context of pleasure. When he ejaculates, 30-minute movie, he ejaculates 10 minutes, he will shut the movie down. He'll shut it down and move on. Why? Think about you now. If you're pleasing him like a movie, you're flaunting him, you're showing your breasts, you're showing your legs, you're showing your tight pants, whatever you, if you're giving him a hormone boost, the only thing you're doing is enhancing his hormones for sex. And if all you're doing is building his hormone for sex, all he cares about is sex, pleasure. Once the pleasure's achieved, he will then look at you in a totally different light. And this is what you need to understand to help, especially you single ladies. When you dating a guy, if all you're giving him is sexual tendencies of how you look good in comparison to a soft porno movie, all he's doing is building up his sexual desire. Once he has sex, he's going to shut it down. Now, when he shuts it down, he's laying down next to you. He's going to look at you and think, is this somebody I really want to be with? If you're not, meaning this, ladies, if he and you were just out for the hunt, you're going to the bar, you meet a guy, he's attractive, you're doing your thing, you take him home, you go to his house, whatever, you guys get into it, he ejaculates, bam, he's laying there, he's honestly, in his mind, he's thinking, what the hell you doing here? Or he could be thinking, I'm glad you're here. That all determines. But before the bar to your bed, he's not thinking of nothing else. He's not thinking of relationships. He's thinking pleasure only. Okay. When you understand this, ladies, you can understand how to control the man. Let's go back to the board and let's talk about it in a woman's point of view. All right. Hope this is helping some of you guys out. All right. So on the woman's side, so this is the man's side. Woman, you need to understand this is not emotion. I know a lot of you ladies use sex as a means to say, I'm giving myself to you. But to him, this is 100% pleasure. After the pleasure, that's when it becomes emotional for him. All right. So now it's not with purpose for him. Sex has no purpose. Time is short, meaning there's no foreplay. He doesn't care about foreplay. Give and take. If you give, he will take. Now, others give, he will take. And then if he gets away with it, guess what he's doing? It's called cheating. All right, let me go back. Let's talk about this. How many of you ladies know of a guy or know of a story when a guy says he gets caught cheating and he says, she don't mean nothing to me. Or he say, I don't love her. And you continuously ask, why are you doing this? Why? Look, he's only doing it because of pleasure. After the ejaculation, done. He don't care about the other woman. He don't care about loving. It's not an emotional. When it becomes emotional for a guy on another woman, or if he's cheating, it's simple. It's because he likes the fact that it's another woman that's pleasing him. Versus nagging wife. Okay, even biblically, it talks about a man would rather stay on a housetop than to be inside a house with a, paraphrasing new technology words or new words, nagging wife. Okay? Okay. So in context, ladies, when you present and figure out, I got a man, he's cheating, or I got a man and I want to capture him. How do you do this? The psyche of it is through your actions. It's one, if you look sexy, you're already achieving his attention. You're grabbing his attention. But he doesn't have a purpose. So you have to guide him with purpose. But guiding him with purpose is not during the process of sex. From the time you see him at the bar to the time he's in your bed, there is no purpose except sex. You cannot guide him. You cannot fool him. You cannot train him through that process. You can only do it before and you can only do it after. But I promise you, if you're doing it during the process of the meat and the process of that bed, you're not guiding, you're not doing nothing. It's just done. He just cares about one thing, and that is to get what he wants out of you. The reference I'm always going to put in your head is this. He can put a 30-minute porno video on. If he ejaculates in 10 minutes of that video, he's shutting it down. Okay. Hey, my girl, what's going on? Okay, so the man is purpose, the woman, no emotions. Okay, now how do we get that? Let's go back to board. I forgot something. All right. So that's A, B, C, D. Here's E. Sex is the end, the result of the hunt. Okay, it's the result of the hunt. It's the desire. Okay, the hunt does not do this. Sex, acts, movies, and so on. Okay, woman. Woman to wife, man. Motive equals woman, then the man, call the sex, call wife equals emotion. All right, so let me define this little piece right there. Let's turn around. All right. A woman, that's quick. There we go. A woman to a wife. So you're dating a guy and you want to get him past the dating aspect right here. The motive has to be prior to. All right. So the motive is the woman. The woman has the motive. A man's motive is pleasure. If the man's motive is pleasure, then your motive is the helping aspect outside of that pleasure. So that means if you are negotiating in a dating process, then the idea of sex is the signing of the contract. I know that sounds stupid and barbaric, but that is that's it. When you date a guy, you have to give him time to get to know you before the process. But here's the catch. Do not allow him to think of you in a sexual position. You have to present yourself in a different light to him for him to take you serious. Once he takes you serious, then if you get him sex, you're giving him pleasure. Okay. Once you give him pleasure, when he comes up from that zombie-like emotional feel for it, then he's going to respect you after the fact. Okay. Now, in context, from the first time of meeting to, let's say, about 5 days, don't go past 5 days. Sometimes it just don't work. Okay. Now, wives, if you got a man and he's unhappy, or you think he's doing porno, and this, quite honest, this has nothing to do with religion, job, titles. I've known preachers, they looking at porn. The reason they're doing all of that is because the wife is not pleasing them. So wives, you have to strip away your emotional side of you. Strip away your emotions, strip away everything, and you have to get in a zone of pleasing your man that has no motive. That's the only pleasure is sex, and so on and so forth. If you do, I promise you, the relationship will achieve betterness. If you don't, if you think you're a hardcore woman and you think you don't need to do this, I promise you, it's just a matter of time between porno and an actual person that he's going to cheat on you with. if he ain't already cheated on you with. So if you want to change your relationship or make sure your marriage is going to continue on a good path, ladies, you have to really change your idea of what pleasure really is to a guy. You have to play that role to please him. Once you play that role, it's as if you're role playing, if you will. But if you play that role, you would change his way of thinking. And we'll talk more about that in the class that I'm going to have very soon when we sit down and talk about it more in depth. All right. So that's all I got today. I really just wanted to outline you ladies who are single and all you ladies who are married or going to be married. Sex to a guy is just sex. Do not negotiate things around him that is based off of sexuality. You will lose every single time. I promise you. There's too many stories that I go through. There's too many relationships that I go through because women think they can control the man and they use sex as the issue of the controlling. You cannot control a man. A man can't even control himself. All right. So that's all I got. The psyche of a man. You may or may not like it, but 1 Corinthians 7, let's go back to the scripture. Please your husbands, be other word and please your husband. If you're not pleasing your husband, ladies, he's pleasing himself or somebody else is. Bible does not call concubines and harlots, or in today's time, what we call concubines, women who entertain and women who please. He doesn't call it a sin. Be mindful of that. All right, this is Dr. Bagley. I will have more on this later. This is a tough topic for you ladies, I understand. But I promise if you go through this process, if you understand this process, we'll continue on to another avenue. We'll have like classes or something. I'll probably design something. I don't even know what I'm going to do yet. But we'll design something to help you guys out. So yeah, so that's all I got today. I know I'm not giving you no answers because I can't give you no answers. If you call me or message me and say, hey, this is my situation, I can then give you some outliners of how to work it out. But just to give you an answer, it is next to impossible. So please forgive me if I feel like I'm just leaving you hanging, which I am, because message me or get in contact with me and we'll figure it out. All right, we'll talk to you later. Have a great Sunday. The sun is coming out, warmth is coming out. You're going to go out, so have fun, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, bye-bye.